From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Waker's pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance of West resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables that we set. To form the Deanest Nightly, never free from the debt. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every act of 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the through lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, he's a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined where was next. Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, this is, and you are under the groove. Welcome everybody. Grand Rising on this Monday. Let's say, put the atmosphere that everything is everything. All right, here I am, and there you are. Let's get to it. Let's do how we do. All right, let's get to it. Yeah. How was your Saturday and Sunday? First off, I'd like to think everybody's get down was great. Like I said, everything was everything, man. That would be a good look. I know me. Myself and I, with me and the wife, we were here. I was learning how to use a computer, use AI, all kind of shit that I've been needed to learn. Saturday and Sunday, I learned that shit. I'm telling you, I was able to go in and do my t-shirts, get them all done right like I want them. I'm not even done actually, but it was the fact that I learned and I just started experimenting with the AI and all this shit. I'm like, oh, okay, man. It wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be. Again, yeah, there's a lot I still need to learn, but for the most part, I got to the basics of it. And I was able to go in there and hook up all my labels and my neck tag and just new designs. I'm like, hey, I like this shit. There was an order in particular I was supposed to do for Kimberly Mitchell. She want the old school t-shirts. I call them old school, anyway. They ain't been out that long. But anyway, the one with the fingers, 2 fingers with the thumb in the middle. And I'm like, I kind of took them off because I didn't want to, promote that. You know what I mean? But I understand that some people look at them as a keepsake or something like that, So I said, okay, maybe then I'll go in there. I have the design, the PDF for it. Go in there, instill it in the system, and going to print them up. I don't know if I'll sell a lot of them. I don't really like that, but some people have a preference, and not that they're gonna be representing it, walking around. You want to get it, just have it. So that was done. I'm gonna do that. I kind of took a little pride in the fact that I was able to do it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But that's what I did with my weekend, man. We were supposed to go and hang out, do a few things, but I got so caught up in what I was doing, lost track of time, wasn't able to go and do some things I wanted to do. You know what I mean? A little hanging out, rubbing elbows, interacting with people, actually driving and stopping at spots and seeing if people was. If we were doing a real blackout, were we putting them out of business, or was people going in there and doing their thing anyway? I wanted to do all that. I didn't get a chance to do it. I'll do it tomorrow, though, for sure. That being said, again, man, peace and prosperity, everybody in the get down right now. Love to be here. Love to be back. It's Monday. Let's make the most of it. Take care. TikTok. Still time on the clock. If you ain't got it, you ain't figured it out, there's still time. All right. All right. Good to see everybody. Good to see everyone up in here. Lisa Moore, man, there's our queen sister, front and center. She beat you today, Antonio, and you too, B60. Front and center. She said, Grand Rising, Brother Bub. I hope all is well with you and the family. Blessings to you. Peace and love to the kings and queens in the RGC. B1 is Black First. And I'm telling y'all, man, it seemed to be gaining traction. I don't know no other way to put it. I could put it another way. It'd probably be extreme, but like, yeah, MF, here we come. You know, better watch out, y'all. You know, then woke the giant. You know, but yeah, be first, y'all. Be first, Black first. That's it. That's all. We shouldn't be making any excuses because that's what we're doing. We should be apologetic about it. Let's just do it. And when we're doing it for the right reasons. Like I said, let's do it out of love for one another rather than anger, you know, or hate for somebody else. You know, and I'm telling you, when we do it that way, out of love for our people, we're going to go a whole lot further than we would if we were doing it out of hate, you know. And hate, it sometimes dissipate. Love is eternal, you know. So there that is. Good to see you, sis. Good to see you. Here I am, and there you are. Raymond Skull, what it do? Peace, prosperity to you and the brothers, man, over in the Rays in the area, man, your family first and foremost. You know, like I say, from Pasadena and Inglewood to LA, man. Love and respect to each and every one of you brothers and sisters over there. Good to see you, bro. You say peace and blessings, bub. A major shout out to the kings and queens in the World Group congregation. Excuse me, y'all. B1 equals Black First. I'm gonna tell you that thing is popping. Black First, y'all. Good to see you, though, Roscoe. Good to see you up in this get out with us, bro. All right, Donald Davis is back. He said, what up, Brother Bud? What's up with you, man? How's everything? Huh? There you go. What you got good, man? What'd you do today? Yeah. How'd you make it happen, man? Tell me about it. Good to see you up in here, though, Donald. Appreciate you, man. Roscoe said, man, the weekend was cool. Finally did my first job under my new business. That was a great feeling. I got to know it was, man. I know it was. I know it was, man. That the fact that the ability to be able to do it, then do it, you know, that is an accomplishment. And then the ambition and the inspiration as a result of you, like, oh, shit, it's on now. Yeah, that got to be a great feeling, man. Yeah, man. Peace and prosperity to you and your business, bro. Real spit. You're going to say, man, look, speaking of computers, I need to refresh up on Word and Excel. It helps my business. Yeah, you would want that Excel and that Word. I got familiar with that on the job, you know, and again, you know, it was just a matter of sitting down and understanding how it worked. And then you can color code that shit, right? And that's what really helped me to adapt to it, you know, the color coded sections and shit. So I could get in there and it was flawless, man. No mistakes, nothing. So, hey, boom, you know, yeah, get on that, man. And my wife, she has a habit of, you know, yeah, you got to have Word. This is what she tells me. You got to have Excel. That way, you know, you know, you learn this shit, you know. I used to be real stubborn about it. And in a way, I still am. But again, I know how to use it, though, you know, but she had been telling me that for the longest time. All right, this fan ain't kicking out nothing with me, man. I need a little air. Hold on, y'all. There you go. All right. All right. I see you up in there, Kimberly Mitchell. I just talking about you, loved one. I'm up in that thing, man, making them t-shirts. I said, I got to do this because I know she did say, all right, that's been a month, bud. What's happening? Right. All right, I got you, though. I'm on that. I'm doing it myself now, too. So, you know, bear with me. You know, I'll have it ready. I'll let you know that this week. Hey, they ready, you know. And I have a variety of colors also. So I'm gonna hook it up. The original, you know, get down. That was when we first started. That'll be there for you. All right. Anyway, you're going to say, Hoover, hey, real ones, I'm still here in the hospital for my sister. Y'all take care. Love you all. And I'm still getting my shirt. Yes, you are. We want to send ours again out in the atmosphere to your sister. Make sure you become, you know, healthier. Make sure you get better. Just, keep those prayers, in your head and your thoughts, and everything's gonna be all right, So we're gonna put it in the atmosphere. We send our love out to you and your sister, Kimberly. Appreciate you, sister. All right. Raymond Cole said, man, it seems like, man, we've been making them people sweat. But not, hey, I think it's more than that. That's an understatement, Roscoe. Come on now. They doing more than sweating. They are in a full-fledged panic. They are in a full-fledged panic. And I'm telling you guys, they got to be having them meetings, behind closed doors. And they say, hey, we got to figure this shit out, because they seem serious. And we're feeling the effects of this shit. I'm seeing, and we all expect this, we got these nooks in our, in our midst. They go against us when they should be with us. And they go in, I ain't thinking about no, on the boycott. I'm going to get mine. Yeah. Most, I don't know. But in spite of them, everything I viewed today in terms of this whole situation looked damn good. And now what I'm noticing also is beautiful. And that's why I said I can't wait to get to LA tomorrow, because I'm going to do this too. Brothers and sisters are getting out, advocating, getting out, going, looking in there. And anybody, hey, y'all, don't y'all know we boycotting this get down? Not only that, they're done. We're not doing no more business with that. I was like, okay, yeah, that's the way to do that. Be respectful about it. How we get passionate about some shit real quick. And we don't mean no harm. We just talking in the heat of the moment. Like, what the fuck y'all doing? But yeah, they've been doing that, getting out their cars, man, advocating that we promote this. We support it. No matter what, we support it, and that's a good look. So I'm gonna do my part. I'll be headed down there tomorrow. I was talking to my niece yesterday, and she had an experience at a 7-Eleven with him. And I said, "Dan, why you didn't call me?" She said, "Oh, man, I was way downtown and da-da-da." She said, "Oh, I handled it though." And she said, made me think about it. Like, matter of fact, let me get the hell out of here. I said, yeah, you should have been knew that, And that's the thing too. I'm noticing a lot of people are not, or they're saying they haven't gotten the memo. All of the content I saw today, just dealing with that specifically, the brothers and sisters walking in these places, and they sit running in the brothers. Hey, what are y'all doing? We didn't know nothing about no. Oh yeah, I'm down with that. Walk right out. And again, a few of them just look, like they went playing like they were invisible. They continued to shop or whatever, But yeah, a lot of them act like they didn't get the memo, man. And that's not cool. But hey, that it is what it is. It is what it is. For the most part, we're doing the damn thing. And I think most of us, I would like to think that most of us are in support of this thing, because it can only really benefit us. It can't hurt us. It can't hurt us. And if you're not on board with that, something's wrong with seriously, something got to be wrong. Something has to be wrong with you. I saw one where a sister got to talking about she not doing all this and that and the third. I mean, she went out her way to put out contents out. Man, y'all tripping, and what we doing it for? What we gonna get from there? I'm like, oh man, I went on. I got off that. I want to get them people my minutes watching their content. But when they let her talk too long, I'm like, I'm gone. She should be the last one they even let. I mean, yeah, people gonna say what they want to say, but I don't think we have to support or sponsor that shit. If they in the negative, we shouldn't even post them. Because some of them acting like they doing it just for the attention anyway. They have channels. Most of them got a channel. They got, she got a channel, so she's trying to get hits. Whether they like what she's saying or not, they're gonna go in and spread the word. Y'all go see her on such page, and she acting a fool. But hey, man, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. I think we're doing great. So that's a good look. All right. They sweating, man. They are in a full-fledged panic, bro. You also said, did you hear Austin Metcalf's father's racist rant? Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, I heard him. But I thought it wasn't much. Because man, when we dealing with them people, there's really no surprises left. You know, there's really no surprises left. So, I thought immediately, hey, it's just another ignorant, cracker. You know, just ignorant cracker. And that's how I wanted to be from the jump. That's how I really wanted to be from the jump. But the gag orders and everything they had, he couldn't say shit. It was only after the trial that now he's able to get out and say what he want to say. I think he's a piece of shit. Why would you have a GoFundMe page? You know what I mean? And it wasn't dedicated to your son's burial or nothing like that. You know what I mean? You took the money and you put it in his bank account, $700,000. The mama had one, $200,000, and y'all talking about, the Anthony's having one, and that's a problem. I don't know. I didn't think none of the dude. I'm not impressed with him at all. I think when it comes to that type of shit, like I said, man, before we've heard the worst of it from him. Now I'm also of the mind that don't push your luck. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're free speech, but hey, man, don't push your luck. So I just thought it was him. I don't know if I could call it him being hurt, and this is why he's expressing himself. I think he's more ashamed that his boy got took by a black hand. That's what I think it is more than anything, man. That's just me. That's me. That's the anger that, the anger that exists in him is because of that, because a brother took his son. That's what I think that's about, man. I don't think it was no genuine love, shit like that. Them people are weird, man. Anyway, I don't think none of them. What was your thoughts on him? How did you see him? Like I say, I think for the most part, not too many of us were shocked or taken aback by anything he said. You know what I mean? I think looking at him, you expect that. And it's funny how with a lot of them, you can look at them and be like, oh yeah, you one of them. No matter how cool they be trying to be, or how can liberal, there's a certain get down in them that is just on their face. They wear it, even behind the fake smiles, the eyes, like, oh yeah, you one of them, bro. I ain't worried about you. Yeah, let me know what you think about him, though, bro. What's the dealio, Chris? I see you. Peace of prosperity, bro. Good to see you up in here, man. How's that blackout looking to you, man? What do you think about that, Chris? You think we're doing enough? I mean, it has gained not a little, but a whole bunch of momentum. I mean, Thursday and Friday, I was getting word that it wasn't popping like that in Texas. Today, I think Texas is more active, where they could be more active than a whole lot of states. Most of what I watched today dealt with brothers and sisters in Texas and how they mobilized. And it's not, they're saying, and this is what they're saying, fuck a boycott. Fuck that. Get out of here. You're done, and that's what I've been advocating from jump. I use the word boycott. I use the word ban, but I'm saying, man, extract them, eradicate them, get rid of them. They're done. No coming back from this. And I was saying we have to be careful because they play the game. They're going to play the game to where they're going to say, oh, we don't support Rick Chow, and we don't hate black people, and 50% off. And, they're going to go and get, like I say, they're going to sooner rather than later get our politicians, where they're not our politicians, but black politicians, celebrities, and or athletes at some point. I see that coming because we already see in the community some people are speaking up for them. And so we got to look forward to that. That's going to occur. But in the whole situation, in terms of how it's going down, I say, like most people are saying, they're done. don't even let them come back. You know, don't let them come back. You know, and don't worry about the perception that okay, because you got to go 2 more blocks over or 4 more over, that's an inconvenience. No, man, don't look at it like that. Look at it like I'm doing this because I'm in support of my people. You know, that's how that should be viewed. But yeah, man, what you think about that, Chris? I see you, Pope. You say, what it do, Big Bub? Focus on the focus. Is the get down. Respect, good brother, to you and the RGC. Excuse me, the UTG and RGC B1. Salute right back to you, man. Give you 3 of them, bro. Yeah, here we are, man. You know, black first. Yeah, the focus on the focus. I got some t-shirts done. I just had mocked up a new one. I got some shit I did, man, in the last 2 days. I love it. I love it. And so when it's all said and done, it should be done by the night, no later than tomorrow. I'm gonna let y'all know some of the stuff I already put in there that I redone, but I got a lot of stuff just sitting in the wings. Excuse me, that I'm gonna drop. And y'all go check them out, man. You know, tell me what you like, man. And you know, let me know what you like. And you can even personalize some shit if you want it. You got an idea of saying, let me know. I know I did one called Black Dollars Equal Black Power. You know, I did that one, and I think that one's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. So that one's up and running. So if y'all don't mind, go check it out, man. You ain't, you know, I don't twist no arms, man. I don't twist no arms, but that will be a good contribution to the get down. Real spec. So get at a look, see y'all. But yeah, other than that, Poke, how you been, bro? All right, good. See you up in here, man. Queen Nzinga in the house. Peace and blessings to the kings and queens in the royal group congregation. It's an unshakable Monday. All right. B1 equals black first. My weekend was relaxing. Too much heat to move around. Yeah, she ain't lying, man. It was that way over here, man. A lot of heat. Yeah, it's starting to heat up. But it's funny how the weather patterns are changing. They're different. This time last year in June, where we're located, hey, man, it was an oven. You know, I mean, seriously, it was hot. It was so hot. Family coming over, turning on my AC, man. And, you know, it was that hot. I didn't raise hell about it. Yeah, go and run it. You know. You know. But last year was different, man. I mean, it's warm now, but it's not like smoldering hot, like suffocating. You know what I mean? It's not that bad yet. This is all we're in the middle of June. We got July, August, September. So we'll see. We'll see. It's tolerable right now. It's hot, but it's tolerable. All right. Thanks for that comment, Queen Nzinga. All right. Yeah. What we got? What we got? All right, Ramy say, sending shots out to Kimberly. Yeah, man. We're thinking about your sister, Kimberly. Put her in the atmosphere, y'all. All right, Pope. What you talking about, bro? You say life is good. If you ain't proud of who you are today, you might not get there. You might not get there. Be a noun person. And like one of my elders always say, later gator. Later gator. You're going to be a noun or later. Ram said, man, yeah, I probably did make an understatement because out here, the people, our people, don't really be black socio-political. Wait, let me read that right. Yeah, I probably did make an understatement because out here, the people, our people, don't really be black socio-political matters or don't be about black socio-political matters. And to think this state had the most sundown towns. Is that what state is that again? Because one of them states is actually worse than southern states, and especially when it comes to them clans. I mean, they got I don't know, Illinois. I forgot what state, but that's fine, bro. I didn't know there were sundown towns in that get down though. Me and my ignorance, I was stuck on the fact that it was strictly down south where you ran or where people ran into that shit. In fact, a sundown town could be anywhere in this damn country, man, as far as we know. That's what I think too, man. I was having that conversation with my wife about we get a lot of brothers, our brothers, young brothers and sisters end up missing, dead, swinging from trees or whatnot. And I said, yeah, man, it wasn't necessarily a sundown town, but it could have been. But at the same time, I'm thinking these people play games. They act like they police, and even the police participate in this get down on them roads, them dark interstates and shit, pull your ass over and you never seen again, I remember saying on the other channel in terms of that, telling black people, especially our sisters, hey man, put your hazards on and keep going till you get to a gas station or something. Don't worry about those consequences. You know what I mean? Let them follow you till you get to somewhere that's lit and where there's movement, cameras, and anytime we let any of them type of, I don't care if they is police, pull you over on a dark road, shit, you gambling with your life for real, for real. I'd rather, hey man, I'm gonna hit my hazards and y'all follow me. I'm gonna do 30, 35, just let you know I ain't running, but hey, I need to be somewhere where I know there's some cameras and lights and maybe people. That way they won't be able to get away with shit, and got somebody on the phone at the same time. Yeah, it's sundown, say shit, man. Anytime it's dark, then people try to take advantage. And I think they use the police. A lot of police actually, in my opinion, does this shit. That's what I think, Yeah, man, shit. All right, you say each day on our trash route, we be going into these rural towns, all cornfields. But I'll be ready for the get down. The blacks here seem sleep. You know what that is, though, right? Oh, and speaking of such, damn, man, that's just so reminiscent. So Rakufu asked me to watch this damn movie that RZA had a party in him and Tarantino called Spoonful of Chocolate, And man, I'm pissed off watching this damn movie, man, because I don't watch them kind of movies, man. But then I get more upset when I watch them, and then brothers are acting like they sheep, like they know Muggs is trying to take them, trying to unalive them, and they acting like like damn man, you so petrified, scared, he's gonna let somebody do some shit. The movie, I didn't like it. I swear it wasn't a proper representation. But based on what you just said just now, in terms of how a lot of our people are in these, these rural areas or wherever, they tend to act like that. They tend to act like that. And I wouldn't promote the movie that Rakufu had me watch, but I gave the name of it. I would say skip it. I was more disappointed in RZA for even, having a part in that shit. It was crap to me, man. It was crap. It was crap. It's how movies, when they unalive one of us, it's horrendous. It's gruesome. You know what I mean? It's bloody. And in the script, when we decide we want to fight back, we get in their shit. It ain't that. It's the total opposite. It's just, put a little whooping on them and you leave them, breathing. But you in a situation where they unaliving Muggs, you ain't, for whatever reason, they don't let the black actor do the same thing that the white actors did to the brothers. And I was like, man, I noticed this in movies, any movie, I see this shit. You know what I mean? It's not to the same extreme of gruesomeness and goriness and just atrocious behavior or hate being, exercised on the mug. When it comes to brothers' turn, when it's time to get retribution, revenge, it's like, all right, you can kick him in the rib and he, hit him in the head with something. He went down and he dropped his gun, and they're the gun. You don't, they're the piece. You don't pick it up and unload it and empty it. And I'm like, but the frame before that, that's what they do to the brothers, dome them and everything. I'm like, oh hell no. Nah. So I hate them type of movies, man. I hate them. I don't like watching that type of shit because it's sending a message, if you ask me. No matter what happened to us, we can't do to them what they do to us. That's the impression I get from the movie. And that's why I wasn't feeling that movie. I don't like that type of shit. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about RZA in that respect, but I know Tarantino, all his movies are racist, degrading of our women. You degrade our women in all his movies. All his movies are racist. The N word up and down the Yahoo. The unaliving of black characters in his movie. It's just crazy, man. I don't get it. I was talking to somebody the other day. He said, "You never seen Pulp Fiction?" I said, "Hell nah. I ain't never watched Pulp Fiction." Yo, you gotta watch that one. I got probably not. Tarantino movies I don't like. I think Reservoir Dogs, I watched that one. But when it comes to Tarantino movies, nah, man. I know what kind of guy he is. He looks like one of them guys. Look like a Jeffrey Epstein type of friend, All right. Polk said, "Man, I used to do security in Koreatown, and I watched them push their money around to each other. But without our money, black money, it don't get around to take over our communities." Let me read that again. "I used to do security in Koreatown, and I watched them push their money around to each other. But without our money, black money, it don't get around to take over our communities. We might be able to get our soul food money back." Yeah, ain't shit, man. I think though, in this regard, man, anything that we do in our communities all over this country, man, and anything we do with our money, with our people in these communities, it's a win-win. I just think it's a win-win. Anytime that we can offer services to our people rather than other people coming into our communities offering services to us, that's a win-win. Because again, when you look at the way the system is designed, they're there for that reason. They're put in our communities to prevent us from taking ownership, not just ownership of our communities, but also having an entrepreneurial spirit in our communities, opening businesses and, circulating our own dollars. So again, when we're talking about the model minority myth, that's what that really is about. They come here and they intentionally place them there so that we don't decide, hey, man, we have our own stores. We'll say, oh, there's a store right there. There's an Asian market right there. There's a beauty here. Let's go there, rather than, hey, man, where's our stuff? Or let's start our own stuff, and were we to do that, then we have economic or financial sovereignty to an extent, and that would serve us. And that's the whole point, though, for us not to have that, to not have economic independence. And yet again, we spending over $2 trillion a year with other people. We're feeding their children, educating their children, buying them homes and shit like that, helping them build more businesses, while we live in food deserts, water deserts, resource deserts. Hey, think about it. Everything's a desert. And yeah, in a lot of ways, we're dependent on other people rather than ourselves to get shit done. We're just it seems like we're just more content about spending our money. And in a lot of ways, mindful of who we spending it with. We'd rather spend our money with other people than in our own communities or with each other, and that's that indoctrination. But in any respect, man, yeah, we, if we had businesses, like we're starting to see more and more business popping up in the last 10 days as a result of all this, right? We're seeing that. Now, had we had all these ahead of time before all this, man, we'd be the shit. We'd be the shit, And I think that's, again, I think that's an inspirational look. Our youth seeing that we're running these businesses, that we're doing our own thing, man. I'm telling you, it would inspire a lot of our youth to become entrepreneurs. It's like, hey, man, in my community, I could start me a business. Yeah, you can, and it's okay. So I think it's more too about us developing that mindset, being involved in this shit, being involved in this shit. Man, take these business. I saw one today for every Asian business in that community or in that vicinity, they put a business right next to it. This is what they're doing, literally. They're putting businesses right next door, right across the street from them. They're just popping up, boom. And they're advertising black owned here. They're going in and boom, that's who's in there. And again, when I said they're going to come out the woodwork, we also got to look out for them advertising that they're black owned, and even, having a black worker, these are the games they're going to play just to get the business back. And we got to be mindful of that shit. We got to be mindful of that shit. Koreatown. They had you down there, Pope. I can't imagine what that was like. Raymond said, man, my take on Austin's father was he is a passive-aggressive, weak dude who passed his racist views to his son, and his son's swollen pride led to that tragedy or his tragedy, no doubt. So now, the shit crazy, man. That whole case is crazy. And, for a lot of us, we understand when you get a dump truck attorney, we know the outcome. That dude was set up, man. The attorney, the white, was a dump truck. And it seems that everything, it was intentional. There were all kind of shit, man. There were subpoenas that had been given out regarding them guys and shit. They had past histories of being bullies, being disrespectful and antagonistic to cheerleaders, all kind of shit. So, the rumor is there's another trial coming, but I don't see how they're going to do that. I don't understand how they're going to just forego the conviction and just boom, he got another trial. It still has to go through an appeal, some type of process, But whatever they're building and gathering, that's cool. It would be a good look to have his brother get a fair, if such a thing exists, in the criminal justice system. But to have, an opportunity to be represented correctly, and by the letter of the law, deal with the system based upon the letter of the law. That'd be a good look. So yeah, let's keep that in the atmosphere that he gets back up in there, man. Now I don't know what's going on with his dad and his mom. I don't care. I don't care. I did see some a few days ago where his dad went to visit him, in the new situation where he is and shit. And he sat with him a couple hours and shit, So I have nothing to say about that. My focus is on how the hell was he convicted, in such a manner, just like, okay, how the hell Rick Charles wasn't convicted, and hey, it's the system. That's what I got a problem with, the system, So let's hope for the best for him as well, man. All right, Henry, I see you, bro. Peace, ladies and gents. Salute, Brother Bub. One love to all. Right back to you, man. Right back to you. And smoke in the house. All right. Evening rising to you as well. Good to see you up in here, bro. I seen you call. I seen the call right now. It flashed on my screen. And it's surprising that it did that because I got my do not disturb on that thing, man, and it rained anyway. Well, once. But yeah. Okay. Good to see you up in here, bro. Raymond say, man, but his words were a common thought of how they all feel. Oh, yeah. And Asian lady refused service to a sister she served for years due to the current events. The sister seemed shocked. So I saw that video. I went in the comments of that video, and I'm going to tell you what I thought. That sister's one of them sisters, man, that we be with the, be doing too much, man. You know what I mean? I get the impression that it had nothing to do with Asians boycotting blacks from coming in there. It makes no sense to do that. You know what I mean? For them. Even when you hear, Asians are boycotting black businesses, that would, but it wouldn't make sense for Asian to turn down some black dollars. So I think it was something more behind that. And the sister have yet to answer all the people in terms of what went on. And supposedly, I think the Asian lady's name is Cindy or something like that, supposed to give a response and tell exactly what took place, because it seemed the sister is hiding some, she's not being 100. Now, my thing is, this happened after the blackout started. So this is obviously one of them sisters ain't giving the flying flick about what's going on. Just think about that. And I can see how one would say, well, maybe that's attached, that's connected. And I don't know if that's connected. Like again, I don't see them turning down our dollars. We going into their establishment. I think it was something more to it. But here was his sister knowing that there's this blackout. And yet she went into that establishment to get a service for ingrown hairs and shit. You know what I mean? Man, I'm saying, hey, man, that's what you get. That's how I'm calling it, man. And yeah, for her to act so shocked, oh, I've been with her for years. It's something more to the story. The lady ain't deny your business, because that ain't what they doing. They want our money. They looking for sellouts and turncoats to come in there into their establishments and give them our money or their money. There's something more to that story. That's just what I got from it. And again, she knew about the damn blackout before that incident even happened. And yet she went. She went anyway to be serviced by these people. So I don't have any sympathy for her, to tell you the truth, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't feel no kind of way for her, because she knew about the get down, and that's what she chose to do. Now you on social media trying to get sympathy, garner sympathy from the people as though you've been wrong. You're not looking at the fact that you wronged the people by going to participating, with, spending money with these people and not participating with this blackout. I ain't got no sympathy for her, bro. She created that. However that shit went, that's on her, because I think, again, she knew about the get out, and yet she went. So whatever transpired as a result of her going after she knew what was going on, hey man, more power to her. Handle that shit. She ain't getting no support from me. I mean that shit. Yeah, I watched it a couple of times. I left a comment, and everybody agreed. They tapping in on my comment. Like, and I asked simply, did you know? I said, simple question. Did you know that there was a blackout? And she ain't answering it one time. Everybody else answering it, but she ain't. So I'm pretty sure she knew. I'm pretty sure she knew. And then again, it's a lot, man, going on our people, man. Yeah, a whole lot. Raymond's coach said, man, a good t-shirt slogan would be B1 equals black first. I have that one. That's in the lineup. It should be in there. Wait a minute, did I do it? I had some issues with that. No. That should be in there, matter of fact. And I'll double check. Make sure that's in there. B1 equals black first. And I toyed with that one. As a matter of fact, that t-shirt in particular took me a little longer to do because I couldn't get it adjusted how I wanted. B1 on the top, under that equals black first, and I couldn't get the equal sign to center. I'm trying to get them all centered. So, I think I got it now, though, just because what I just said, I know what I have to do. But I got to double check, see if I did that already or if it's just still sitting there. But yeah, no doubt, B1 equals black first is a great slogan. Great slogan. And speaking of weather, it's been raining out here while it's hot. Damn, man, that's crazy. That's going to create a whole lot of humidity, man. I used to be in Oklahoma, man. Mississippi like that. In Mississippi, man, it'd be like coming down, cats and dogs. Humid is fucked up. Man. Humid. That wasn't no good weather, man. I ain't never forgot that. Indiana. Oh, yeah. That's almost like headquarters. That one in Colorado. That's like headquarters, man. Be careful, bro. Keep your head on a swivel, man. So Kimberly say, make a t-shirt, put stop it or start it, will you? Black first, thanks for everything, my people. Okay, stop it. Yeah. Start it, will you? Yeah. I get the gist of that. I like that. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. If I don't write some shit down, I'll forget, y'all. And that stop it is old. We used to say that back in the day. Stop it. Or start it, will you? All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Appreciate that, Kimberly. Raymond Scott said, man, but the Klan started in Pulaski, Tennessee, but Indiana been a stronghold for the Klan, Ohio too. But the blacks in Ohio go crazy for this blackness. Yeah, the Klan did start in the South, but yeah, like you know, it in terms of the largest contingent of them are in those two states, especially where you are in Colorado. You know, and I was surprised to even hear that they went Colorado like that, you know. So I was surprised to learn that. Yeah, it looks like our brothers and sisters in Ohio, they ain't having none of it, you know. They're another one that's up and running, very, very active in advocating this dismissal altogether of these people from our communities. Gotta love it, man. You gotta love when these states come up. And yeah, man, if anybody, I don't care what state you in, shit, man, put that, you know, come on, man, record that, go see what's going on, and then put that's content, put it up there, and let the people know that this shit is really happening, you know. And I'm pretty sure, not just the Asians though, right? Think about that. Other races are saying, man, oh, make sure we don't dare them motherfuckers on whatever, you know what I mean? They're thinking, hey man, do not challenge these motherfuckers. Leave them alone, you know. The Asians got to be kicking themselves in the ass, man. They got to be, man. And I'm tripping off, you know, the Mexicans, you know, a few of them having something to say every now and then. There are a lot of ignorant ones, you know what I mean? Their people come out and be on their necks immediately. There's one essay dude, Mexican dude, man. I forget his name. I actually watch his shit because he's real spit. He truth to power. He's spitting truth to power. And he going in on his own people, you know, calling a whole lot of dumb fucks. You know, one Mexican dude went up there and got to talking about adopting black kids and, you know, for the fact that, you know, they are athletes and, you know, making money. And if it did work, take them back, get another one, you know, kind of, you know, cracking jokes. Or, yeah, what's good about adopting a black kid? I have my own personal slave and shit like that. So the essay dude went in on the dude. I mean, roasted. He cooked him. I give him that. So I subscribe to his channel because all his content is above board. It's above board, you know. So I checks him out. But yeah, those Mexicans are, you know, a few of them are trying to come out of the woodwork and try to act ignorant as well. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, y'all too. Please hurry up. Hurry up. And I'm saying, man, anyway, in spite of, that's where it should be anyway, because we already know what that segment or demographic thinks, you know. And again, I don't think all of them think that way or feel that way, but this is their community, you know, it's in their community. And none of them have said anything up to this point or before any of this in terms of solidarity or allegiance, you know what I mean? Loyalty, you know, very few, if any. That includes Asians as well as Mexicans. But I think lessons need to be learned by demographics, man, when it come to us, period. That way, we do it and we do it right, they'll police their own. They'll be like, hey, man, leave them the fuck alone. You know, that's what I think. But, you know, also a lot of them, they would, you know, with that FAFO, they're going to fuck around and find out. So let them have it. You know, got something for all of them. Shit. Chris said, man, anytime you're out of the city limits, you have to be careful with the others. Real spit, man. I could be going, shit, I tell you, drive to Oakland, I'm watching. You know, I'm like, shoot, you know, I don't give a fuck. I'm watching all you motherfuckers, you know. I'm watching you. And that's not to say there are a lot of dark roads and shit, but period. That's just what I do, man. I'm not dropping my guard. You know. Smoke said maybe we need body cameras too. Yeah, you know what though? That will not just body cameras, but damn good idea. Shit, that's a damn good idea. But also them cameras they have in vehicles now that are always running. And you know, you have the front view, the back view, and side view, like them Teslas, you know. And first thing hey man, for anybody have them, it's especially when you're getting stopped by law enforcement at night. You want to say, hey, I want to advise you, I got cameras up in here. They all working. You would dissuade them quick. They'd be like, oh shit. Okay, I'll wait for the next one, you know. But yeah, I think by any means we want to protect ourselves, make sure that we don't put or find ourselves in a predicament that we may not get out of because we didn't take certain precautions. A body cam. Oh my God, that sounds good. That fucking sounds good. Excuse my language, y'all. Hell yeah. Yeah. Appreciate that, Smoke. Chris, I mean, anytime you're in an area where white people are, missing their front teeth, you have to be careful. No, but I think they'll be careful. You have to say, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. I'm not gonna give you a chance. Slimeball TV. Appreciate you jumping in up in there, Slimeball TV. I'm gonna go check that out, man. See what that Slimeball TV about, man. I hope you ain't true to the word of the spelling the whole name, man. Anyway, one spoonful of chocolate. I guess you washed it, huh? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a fan, man. I just don't like the way they wrote that. And again, that's Tarantino. That's how he gets down for the most part. Tarantino has no love for the black community. Don't get it twisted. You know, some of y'all say, oh, he might, right, he make good movies, he direct good movies. Yeah, right, Stephen King also, but I don't buy his shit because I know just based on how he writes about us in his books, they don't stand a chance that's what he really think and feel. It ain't no doubt about it, Ain't no doubt about it, and yeah, shit. But yeah, that movie wasn't shit. But any respect, man, Slimeball, appreciate you jumping in here, man. You already know, I think, this is Undergroove Podcast. You are touching bases with the people. We appreciate your presence, bro. Hang around, man. Hang around. You're more than welcome. All right. One thing, we keep respectful. We ain't got our sisters ain't bees up in here, and we don't do the N-word. And that's not something I police. I don't do it, and for the most part, the RGC don't do it. And that's that love and respect we have up in here. So you're more than welcome to be here, brother. Jump in anytime. All right, folks. And man, when I was in Philly in the Puerto Rico community or the Puerto Rican communities, they had a Puerto Rican store. The Dominicans, the same. They have Dominican stores. Matter of fact, all the immigrant communities had their own stores. The best Philly cheesesteak wasn't the big Philly cheesesteak restaurants. It is the little stores in those communities that sell the bomb steak sandwiches. Yeah. And yet, again, so when you're talking about immigrant communities, man, you're talking about the model minority myth. You know, like they came over here and got it done, because you hear that from their mouths too about us. Oh man, my people migrate over here. They got this, they got that, but they're not really understanding the politics in terms of black and white in this country, why it was established the way it is and why it is the way it is with us. So immigrants, they could come. They don't have a history here. That include Africans, those tethers, those that come from Africa, and they you black Americans are so lazy. They don't understand. They don't even know the fight, man. They don't even understand, you know? So they use that shit too, not realizing though that they are wedges. They're placed there in our communities, you know. They don't, any of these immigrants, they don't go to white neighborhoods, man. They don't. Everybody know that. You don't see no influx of immigrants establishing businesses in predominantly white communities. It's unheard of, unseen. You know, unseen. Not saying none. You might have one Asian restaurant, but you're not gonna find no Jamaican restaurant. You're gonna find maybe 1 or 2 Mexican restaurants, but you're not gonna find no Dominican restaurant. You sure ain't gonna find no soul food spot, you know. But yeah, they come here, these immigrants, and they make like and they act like that what they did, you know, it was just some miraculous shit, you know, that, oh, we're so, how we're wired, this is how we get out, not realizing, man, no, man, this is the way the government play with us. They use y'all too. They play with y'all too, but y'all know no better. You know, so they come and think, oh, man, we got it done. And y'all been over here forever, and y'all ain't got shit. Y'all lazy, y'all this, y'all that. Yeah, and at the same time, the government fucked up your country so bad to where you had to leave that motherfucker to come over here anyway. And if you think about it, it was probably a plan to destabilize us, to keep us fucked up. We're going to destabilize they shit, let this influx of immigrants come over here, move into the black communities, and keep them motherfuckers from being successful, having their own businesses, da. Same shit. You just ran from your situation. You just ran from your situation, you know. Same people that's fucking over us, trying to, are the same people that destabilize you guys' system, you know, your government, you know, disregarded you duly elected officials and shit, you know, put sanctions on you, embargoes, fuck up your whole economy. Boom. Y'all come over here. That shit is a plan, as far as I'm concerned. That shit is planned. Ain't by no mistake, man. Ain't by no mistake, man. They go for the Asians too. Then bombed them. Then went to war with all them. Did all kind of atrocious shit to them. Destabilized their governments. You know. Helped to orchestrate coups. Separated them. Divided whole countries. You know. Allowed the influx of immigrants to come over. The plan is to destabilize us here, to make sure we don't get our feet under us. We're the real competition. We're the real fear of those who run everything, you know. Y'all just lackeys. Don't even see it. So, you know. Nigga, they move up into Philly. You know, for whatever reason, they get the loans we can't get. You know, they get that government assistance we can't get. You know, it's like how they did the Ukrainians, the South Africans, let them come right on in. In fact, when they were letting this influx of immigrants from South America, Mexico, and all that, they were looking out for these people. They ain't never done that for us. You know, no. You know, they give us any assistance. They say, okay, you get the where he at. Okay, as long as he ain't around, we'll look out. Oh, man. So I miss me with all that shit they be talking, man. They be talking a gang of shit that they don't even know nothing about, man. Nothing. I would listen to a black dude, but he's a Cuban American. His parents fled from Cuba. He was born here the day they got here or the next day. So he real proud. I was born here. You know, I'm a Cuban American born here. You know, I'm a citizen, you know, da da da. But he's a MAGA guy, right? He's conservative Cuban American. And he got to talking shit about us over here. You know, he drives a big rig, you know, he one of them kind of guy, but he going in on us and he talking about what his people accomplished, that, this, that, and the third and all this. But y'all ran, your mom and daddy ran from Cuba. They didn't stay to fight for their rights over there, the land that they loved and knew. They jumped on the dinghy in the inner tube and bought their asses right over here. And the American government let them. Since 1959, the American government been letting Cubans come over here, especially those Cubans that were against Fidel Castro, you know. And those who were against Fidel Castro were those who supported the puppet government that the United States helped prop up. You know, that puppet government allowed United States corporations to come into the country and rape it and pillage it for its resources. Its oil, its agriculture, the whole nine. Castro come and shut it all down and nationalized all those corporations. So America been mad about that ever since. Been super hot about it. You know? Real spit. What they did is say, okay, in 1960 and 61 was the first time they applied embargoes and sanctions on Cuba. They haven't been lifted since. I'm 51. The embargo's been on Cuba for 57, 58 years. So, of course, the country's going to be destabilized. China is a communist country. Russia is a communist country. North Korea is a communist country. They have militaries that are very strong. They have industry, you know what I mean? But they're nowhere near America. Cuba's 90 miles off the coast of Florida. So what happened to Cuba was purely intentional. The aristocrats who fuck with the American government were mad that they got kicked out of their own spot. They came over here and started trying to push the line on me. You know, come on, man. Half motherfuckers be talking and shit, don't know half the shit they talking about. And I'm speaking about that brother that's, oh, I'm good. You can't tell me nothing about Cuba. Cuba's old shit, the communists fuck the country up, blah, blah, blah. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about, man. You know. But we got these people like that. We have these immigrants. I don't give a fuck where you're born. You know, that motherfucker, nah. I wouldn't give a fuck. He ain't one, you know, generational. He ain't none of that, you know. So, but we get these immigrants, man, and they come over here and they act like this, like they really fucking doing something. And they showing us up, like they really showing us up. And like, fool, you don't even know the program. We know the program, man. And this is why we able to tell y'all, hey, man, don't do that. Hey, don't vote for him. Hey, don't buy that. Because we know the program. But you sapsuckers is quick to disregard anything we say because y'all been indoctrinated to think that we don't know shit. We ain't shit. And y'all got that from y'all masters. Same masters that we had, that we shook. Those are y'all masters now. Y'all do they bidding. You know, it's crazy shit, man. So I say, man, anytime we have these immigrants, these people who have this hatred and animosity for us, disdain and disrespect, we have to understand one thing, that's just not that individual. This is something, the sickness and the illness that exists in the home as much as it does in the community. And therefore, the whole community, you know, it ain't just suspect, it's tainted. So it only makes sense to be like, you know what? Yeah, it might be some of y'all who are good. But at the same time, y'all know this shit exists and y'all have done nothing. It's you guys' community. You know, and for most part, it's in the home. The husband, the granddaddy, grandmama, they all, hey. So we better off just saying, you know what? It's time to go. That's what I say. You ain't got to agree with me, but that's what I say. We want to protect our children, our elderly, our women. These motherfuckers is locking our sisters up in their shops anytime they think they done stole something or they have a disagreement and putting their hands on. I wish I ever see some shit like that. Nah, that ain't gonna work, man. Anyway, Chris said, man, the great chance was when 90s, when they blacks were making all that drug money, didn't know how to turn that into legit business. Yeah. I've had that discussion. We've had that discussion. I'm gonna tell you, man. Yeah, man. There's no excuse. I was about to give a scenario, give an excuse, but there's no excuse, man. You're right. We dropped the ball in that respect, and especially being that we dropped the ball in more than one respect. We feed that shit to our people. And so at the very least, you would think, man, we make this money work. Let's build something from it, rehab centers, something that's, yeah, we didn't do shit, man. We dropped the ball. All right. I ain't gonna argue with you on that. Real shit, Chris. Appreciate it. And she got Queen Nzinga saying, Chris, you ain't never lied. All right, Henry said, man, I'm glad you spoke up to the young lady at the nail shop. Soap opera drama. Yeah. And our sisters, man, some of them, you going to say, Henry, they were offering people a deduction in their car insurance if you put cameras on your car. Yeah, me and my wife talked about that. Claiming it helps with learning how traffic is in different areas. LOL. Nah, like I know. No, now we already got them in the house through our TVs, our laptops. Now they want them in the cars. They want to know what we're doing, what we're talking about, the whole nine, man. Just look, the country is the fastest country, especially now. I always thought it was anyway before Trump. And again, we get shit twisted because some people come into office as figureheads run the country. They're more atrocious than the one before them. But the reality is they all work from the same script, Democrat or Republican. This has always been, I think this came a police state, really a real police state with, I want to say Kennedy, but not exactly. I can say Eisenhower, but no doubt when LBJ became president, that's when they were bringing in the troops, the military, using that against our people. No doubt from that point on, it could have been labeled the fastest country, a police state, so to speak, But it makes no never mind. Trump or whoever, they all work from the same script. It's like the lobbyists, you have one on one side of the aisle, Democrats, and on the other, Republicans, and in the middle, independents. Guess what? The lobbyists fuck with all of them. All of them take the same money, take money from the same lobbyists. All of them push the lobbyists' agenda. And the lobbyists could be the Zionists in Israel. The lobbyists could be these AI giants, these CEOs, these corporations. Any money. If you got the money, you got the vote. You know what I mean? So, also these lobbyists and these super rich, they pay for that type of control. They need it because just think about it. When people tire of this shit, they're gonna burn it down. And what are they burning down? For the most part, none of this shit is ours to begin with. Let's get it, don't get it twisted. Let's get it straight. Most of this shit is not ours anyway. I don't give a damn what the car you driving, the motorcycle you ride, the house with the roof over your head, whether you renting, leasing, or calling yourself owning, it ain't ours. You know, it belongs to them, to the system. Super rich, they need the system to protect their interests. And their interest is everything, including us. All our social security numbers is in the file. And all these people, man, making money off that shit. You know, so they need that type of authoritarian, you know, power or policing behind them or in front of them to protect their shit. Bottom line, you know, and they label it democracy. When the truth of the matter is that democracy is just it's a lie. What the real thing is about is capitalism, and capitalism ran by those who have all the money. In order to keep that running, hey man, they got to play a lot of games and do a lot of foul shit. You know, they got to make sure that they control this game called capitalism, and they'll do it by any means necessary. That's what I think. So, yeah, we're bringing these mugs over here, man. Asian, Mexican, don't make no difference. They're doing it to hurt us. That's it. But these fools think they're doing it because we don't want to do nothing. Oh, well, the blacks still, they feeling still hurt. They were slaves, and so they're shiftless. They're lazy. They're mad at the system. They don't want to do nothing. They're dumb. They're what? All cap, man. All cap, because you hear the same people mimicking, parroting the same shit. Asians, Mexicans, and others. So, yeah, it's about time we get it together, man. Let's run our own shit. Fuck it. Run our own shit, man. Folks say, man, y'all stay on fire for that blackness. Bub, I'm out, bro, but I got a little UTG in. I'm good. I'm on the third. I'm on the 3 hour difference. Okay, got you. All right. I'ma love my blackness, man, to the end. Love you. Love on your black children and take care. Salute right back, Poke, man. Get it in. 3 hour difference. Oh, yeah. It's time to get some rest, bro. Going on 10:30 over there. Take care, bro. I'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. All right. No reparations, no vote. Say what up, bro? What it do, loved one? I like that. Another t-shirt, y'all. Yeah, I like that. How's it, brother? Good to see you up in here. Or, you know, hanging out with Under the Groove Podcast. You are touching base with the people, man. We chopping it up right now. In fact, I'm about to shift over to a piece I got. I got a little clip. I want to drop this. Bring it in, man. Bring it in, man. Our brothers is, man, hey, we waking up now, y'all. And this ain't no gimmick, and I don't think it's a trend. We're waking up now. It's a good look. That's what I think it is. Long overdue. Check this out.
Listen, as a minister, I don't care too much for the language, but I agree with everything this man just said.
So I was just told that I turned my back on the black community because of a recent video I did about Jasmine Crockett. I've been waiting on this one. What this is called is selective morality. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white robes running through our neighborhoods, just black folks terrorizing other black folks. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white supremacists shooting up our blocks. It's us. Let's ignore the fact that we make music glorifying our own destruction and then cry when the streets match the lyrics. We love screaming black unity, but we'll rob, jump, scam, and kill our own people with no hesitation whatsoever. Preaching we gotta stick together while setting up your own brothers and snaking your own sisters. Love blaming the society for why our neighborhoods look like war zones while cheering for the very culture that keeps them that way. Talking about black pride while rapping about murdering each other, turning women into baby mamas, and making it seem like being broke, violent, and ignorant is a personality trait. Everybody want to scream support black businesses, but will run to Gucci before you ever spend $1 with your own people while looking for a hookup at the same time. We want to whine about gentrification, but won't invest in your own damn community. Instead, trash it, and then cries when somebody else moves in and builds it up. And then the worst part, y'all expect every black person to fall in line with this ideology. Because how dare a black person think for themselves, right? How dare someone not subscribe to this self-inflicted victimhood bull? Y'all want unity? Start by looking in the mirror. The truth is, black folks ain't even for black folks. The biggest threat to black people ain't Trump. It ain't the police. It ain't white people. It's us. It's our own self-hatred, our own refusal to hold each other accountable, and our own addiction to playing the guy victim while glorifying the very that holds us back. Who's out here shooting up black neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who's rapping about killing each other, robbing each other, and treating our women like trash? Not Trump. Who's making our own communities unlivable, unsafe, and uninvestable, then crying about it and wondering why they won't build up our neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who raised us to fear and hate each other more than any racist system ever could? We did that to ourselves. But now let's keep blaming everything on racism while we kill, rob, and destroy our own at a rate the Klan could only dream of. Let's keep pretending every black person is on the same team when half of y'all wouldn't even piss on another black person if they were on fire. Y'all would film it and yell World Star. Let's keep screaming about oppression while cheering on the destruction of our own communities. Y'all don't want justice. Y'all don't want unity. Y'all don't want progress. You just want an excuse to stay in the same cycle while blaming everyone else but yourselves. So now I'm not turning my back on black folks. I'm turning my back on the bull.
Listen, as a minister, I don't.
All right. Now, I realized I played that clip last week, but it's still relevant, you know. So in terms of everything we're talking about with this this blackout, you know, the eradication, you know, the removal of those who hate us from our communities. Let's do that. But at the same time, let's hold ourselves accountable. I agree. You know, I come from a community, man, that is just it's torn down, it's torn up, it's fucked, it's messed up. Love my community, don't love what's happening in it. All right. I don't like what I see when I'm over there, you know. Whose fault is that? I have to agree that that's our fault. For every Hoover that claim Hoover and you know your community is a piece of shit, it's fucked up. Whose fault is that? It's our fault. You know? So we need to change that. We got to work on us. There has to be accountability. If we're going to be pushing this blackness, man, we got to push it, man, like we love ourselves first enough to want to see change amongst those who look just like us. We're not doing that. If we don't do that, man, we can't expect no change. It's going to be what it's going to be. So I played that because I thought it's still relevant. I know it's still relevant, you know? Yeah, whatever battles but we've always been able to, multitask, you know what I mean? While we're dealing with whatever these issues are we're dealing with, we're supposed to be working on ourselves. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to accomplish this task that we're all talking about now. We have to even put in forefront of this task we're on now that everybody seems to be on before that. And hey, man, let's work on us while we dealing with this. If we don't, this shit'll be for nothing, you know? It'll be for nothing. You know, when people first start talking about it, they say boycott. And I'm like, what the hell for? If you're going to do this, do it. Get it out the way. But see, the only way that's going to occur if we come to understand who we are and why we need to be doing the shit we need to be doing. We have to hold ourselves accountable for a whole lot of shit before that, you know. So I agree with that shit wholeheartedly. I just do, you know. And I'll be one of the first to say, okay, yeah, man, we got to stop blaming other people. I'll be the first. I'll be the first to say, man, what I went through in my life, those are my choices, man. I can't blame that shit on nobody else. You know? And I think that's one of the hardest things for us to do as Black people is to take some responsibility or accountability for ourselves first, rather than always pointing our finger at other people. We're only actually in this situation this long, 2026, because we haven't decided to get it together. Get ourselves together first so that we can come together second. That's the only reason why we're still in this shit, man. Because we haven't done the work, you know. This is why they're killing our children, because they see that's what we do, you know. They see that there's no unity amongst us. There's no fear that if they harm one of us, that the whole goddamn community, the whole race come down on their heads. They don't see that. They don't, you know. Like, no, they ain't, so that's why I ran that clip, because I think it's still relevant to this day. Okay, not this one. So I got another one. And here's another reason why we're in the shit we in. Hold on. No, I ain't gonna play that. Which one was it? No, hold on, y'all. Oh, there you go. Now, let me go out of here. Okay, let's put this one in here. Another truth to power moment, y'all. This will be the last clip, but check this out.
Agreed.
Whenever a black man attains a very high level and is allowed to live too well, he oftentimes forgets the severity of the condition that his people are still living in. And what seems like progress to him has long since ceased to be progress to his own people. One of the things that has hurt our people, many of the Negro leaders don't live among Negroes or live around Negroes or eat with Negroes, and they have long since ceased to feel like Negroes and to think like Negroes. And then when you come along and meet a Negro who still feels like a Negro because he's catching hell like a Negro, and when he speaks like a Negro, he shocks you because you haven't heard one for a long time. Sooner or later, when you take 20 million black people and make them fight all your wars and pick all your cotton and work all your jobs, and still you never give them any real honest recompense for what they've done, sooner or later their patience and their confidence and their allegiance towards you is going to wear thin, and then you have a situation that you can't cope with. You don't ever know how a Negro really thinks or really feels until you hear been taught to pat you on your back or flatter you or lull you into a false sense of security. They're letting you know the reality of their condition, and the white man himself is intelligent enough. If he knows, if the white is as intelligent as the white man is, or has been in the past, if he knew the intensity of the dissatisfaction and impatience that is building up in the minds of the masses of these black people, you wouldn't see him running around here calling Mr. Muhammad a hate teacher. He would look upon Mr. Muhammad as an alarm clock that's doing him a favor, waking him up out of his sleep before it's too late.
Everyone.
All right. Now, I just wanted to drop that one too, because I think in our communities, man, we got a lot of people, and this is why we like we are, who don't support the community. They get what they get and they leave. Boom, they're gone. That be that, They don't look back, They don't, look to pull somebody up, or to help the community or whatnot. And I think that's conditioning, right? But who do you blame for that? You can blame the system, but reality says, man, that's a blame that should be placed at the foot or the feet of the person who have not made a conscious decision or effort to change the situation, not just for himself, but for himself first, but also for people. So for his people. When we decide to consciously go or play within a system or a game that's called a system, knowing damn well the game is rigged, we're not going to win, but we go into it, say, I want to be on that team. We can't expect no changes. We can't expect, our people, our leaders to feel like or think like, I got to go help my people. They're not going to feel like that or look at it like that. They're like, I'm on the winning team. So same way I got my ass up out that shit, you got to kiss ass, lick boots, or whatever you got to do to get your ass out of that shit. What that mean? That mean, okay, this individual don't love himself. Just think about that. That individual loves the system that mastered and set up more than himself. Because he's devoid of morals, principles, standards, integrity. So I get what the brothers before Malcolm, what he said, what he meant. I get it. I get what Malcolm is saying, But again, man, we have to be accountable. And until we are, we're gonna continue to be in this shit. We're gonna have people coming out the woodwork. You know, before you know it, Trump keep letting these South Africans in. We're gonna start seeing more and more of them, and they're gonna be just like the rest of them, talking to us any old kind of way. We're gonna be called kafirs instead of ninjas, you know, and they ain't gonna think nothing of it. That's because we don't think nothing of it, or not enough to take care of our business and get our shit right. I'm all for this shit, man, but I'm not gonna be naive either. You know, I'm not naive in the least bit. I know this is an uphill battle we're faced with, because a lot of our people will not be accountable, won't hold themselves accountable. You know, and this is what we see. And you got to know we have a whole bunch of brothers and sisters who feel and think the same way as that brother who was talking about, you know, the real issues in our community, or the real problems in our community being us. We got a whole lot of brothers and sisters, and they love blackness, but they spin truth to power. That's something a lot of us won't do. All right. So I just wanted to drop them 2 clips. We good. I'm good on that. Yeah, you say, Henry, man, you right, brother Bub. Them saying we're lazy, don't want to work, and I'm getting sick of hearing it. We have to show and prove by ways and actions to the fullest. I'm glad our folks are waking up. And that's the whole purpose. See, we could be talking all the shit we want to talk. Pair of lips to say anything, man, right? This is, you know, hey, let's be 100. But what trumps that? Action. Action. That's the only thing that trumps that, man. See, words are really just a catalyst to movement, to action, you know? We talk this shit, then how the hell hey, it's time, man. We got to get up, get out, and get something. We have to do that. That's the only thing we have in our favor. Actually, is our ability. We have the ability to do any damn thing we want. That's in our favor. And we got to know that based upon what we come from, where we come from, and how we came from it. That makes sense to me. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. Where we came from, what we came from, and how we came from it. And here we are. Shit. Can't nothing stop us, man, but us. And we say this all the time on the Get Down. We say this on this channel. Can't nothing stop us but us. We got to really understand that, man, to the point where we're not sabotaging us. We're not sabotaging our progress, you know, our development. You know, this is some necessary stuff, man. If we're not doing this shit the way we supposed to be doing this shit, then that means, man, we're not doing something right, or we're not doing nothing or anything at all. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, you know. So that brother talking, like I said, it made me think about the clips I watched today with all these black people. They don't want to be accountable. But it shows also a certain hatred for self. You know, when first time we get down, man, I ain't doing that. Fuck him, fuck her. Talking about ourselves. We're deflecting our real hatred for ourselves on our people. And that's what we do. We do that better than on ourselves, better than anybody else. We got to get over that shit, man. We got to get beyond that. I'm telling you. To not do that, man, I'm telling you, we'll fight a losing battle. All this shit will be for nothing. And then we want to say, this is for Cyrus. This is for young brother Carmelo. This is for everybody that came before them, and possibly everyone that's going to come after. We're saying this, but if we ain't really putting action behind it, this is all in vain, man. We're just saying some shit. We're just saying some shit, especially if we're not saying before all that or even after it, we're doing this because we love ourselves. If that ain't a part of the equation, love for self, man. If that ain't a part of the equation, man, I'm telling you, we're doing this shit for nothing. Because it ain't going to matter until we actually pushing the way we supposed to push. And that's with love of self. It's the only way we're going to get shit done. Hawaii. What it do, loved one? Good to see you up in here. The loved one Snipe, man. What it do, Snipe? And hey, man, I like to think that everything is everything, man. Peace and blessings to you and the fam. Good to see you up in there hanging out with us, man. Touching bases with the people on this Monday night, bro. Your presence means a lot. So appreciate you hanging out with us, man. I'm about to get ready to put the cut out, y'all. Got things to do. And so it's not the whole thing tonight, but we'll be back. If the ancestors deem it so, we had that grand rising in the morning. We'll be front and center. I'll be front and center by 6:15, you know. Got a lot on my plate, but hey, you know, I can take care of that. I can handle it. Yeah, bro. I hear you. All is well. Peace and blessings, man. Peace and prosperity to you and the loved ones down there. You already know. Love to see you again. Like I say, hanging out, bro. We're going to get ready to cut this thing short, though, right now, y'all. Like I said, I got some things I want to get into. I'm going to have a long day tomorrow. I'm pretty sure of that. But, you know, that's just what it is sometimes. Maybe we'll make up for this tomorrow. Yeah, we'll take care of everything like we do. Everything is everything. All right, Henry, peace to you, man. Enjoyed your time with me, man. That goes for everybody, man. Hey, y'all already know, love yourself, y'all. Love yourself, man, because I'm telling you, you can't, if you don't love yourself, you can't love nothing else, man. You ain't going to love nobody look just like you, all that shit. Trust me. It starts with self, the whole get down. You love yourself, I know it ain't going to be no problem for you to love me. I love that sister over there, that brother over there, your people. Take care of yourself, because if you're doing that, you'll be able to take care of your brother and sister, you know, and they'll see that, you know what I mean? It goes same with the love. Brothers and sisters see that, like, man, this dude loves himself, you know, This brother takes care of himself, you know, so I feel comfortable. I feel safe, you know. That's to get down, y'all. Love yourself so you can love each other. Take care of yourself so that we can learn to take care of one another. That's to get down. Straight up. Power's in the people, everybody. Power is in the people, not power to the people. Power is in the people. And one day y'all figure that one out. And most of you already know. But power is in the people, all right? Take care. All love and respect. You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. One love, y'all. Focus on that focus, all right? Rakufu, see ya. I see you up in here, bro. He say, peace, man, to the RGC and all newcomers. Bub, did you watch A Spoon of Chocolate? I did. I talked about you like you're a dog for making me watch that movie. No, seriously, no. I did watch it, bro. I didn't talk about you like you're a dog, though. I didn't like it, and I'll expound upon that tomorrow. I'll let you know. I talked about it. You might want to go and watch this on YouTube, and you'll hear exactly why I didn't like it, all right? But, yeah, me and wife, we watched the whole thizzle. You know what I mean? We watched the whole thizzle. Oh, Mandy, Nicolas Cage. Watch that movie. It was a trip movie, man. It was a trip movie, but it was good. Mandy. All right. Y'all check that one out. All love and respect to each and every one of you. Appreciate touching bases with the RGC. Love and respect, y'all. You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. One love. And power is in the people, y'all. Take care.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurston writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. Is once a less than. At this hatches and Mercedes, please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch the applause for pose. DJ the tropes and console any problem when the wet just wanna build the season big. Now don't get the pause. It's just the raising up the times, pleading walking soft the main, making honor fans turn and neck and love the durn suffering like a kisher. You been grown to preaching up on side as each lunch on the shit and untrue seeing vets someone the very inch on Gary Lynn. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bonafide. You wait talking for the marker rate to keep them through the trumpets on the boards to the singer land is carried open slowly. Keep us looking on my mother record generosity more than he and let the visit be is every time we keep a spawn.